Hello, my friends. Simon Miller here, and that's right. Today, we are going to talk about stupid, dumb ways to train when you are in the gym. Now, you'll be thinking to yourself, why do I want to train stupid and dumb? Well, I'll tell you, because there's a lot of fitness advice out there, and some of it is so, concrete that you must do this, it doesn't actually pertain to what is really going on in life. So number 7 is just get it done / listen to your body. Now, that's going to sound a little bit weird, but it's actually something that happened to me recently, which inspired this entire list because I was super duper tired. I had a crazy weekend. I went to All In and we did a bunch of stuff. If you follow me on social media at SimonLed316, you will know what went down, but essentially I had a wrestling match on a Saturday. I went to All In, backstage, I'm an idiot, on a Sunday. On a Monday, I had another wrestling match. And I got on a Monday and I went to do my training and it was leg day. Actually, maybe it had been Tuesday, whatever. It was leg day, right? But I was so damn tired. I was so worn out, but you still got to get your fitness in there. That's massively important because consistency is the key. And when it came to the leg press, now I have very specific things that I do, but when it came to the leg press, it was one of those days where usually I focus on the negative part of the rep. On that day, I was like, if I have to do that, I'm not doing leg press, right? Because that's just how I felt. I was so tired, I was worn out, and my body and brain was screaming at me, can you please just go home and eat some ice cream? And I was like, would you shut up? This is not the time or the place. Then I realized I was in a public space and I stopped doing that. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to get on there. I'm still going to load it up with the amount of weight that I think is appropriate for me at the time. I'm still going to aim for 12 to 15 reps, but I'm just going to get these reps done. So that's what I did. I just got to 12, 15 reps, whatever it may be. Now, anybody else would tell you, I can't believe you didn't do your negative reps when you're supposed to do your negative reps. Well, I'm still going to do my negative reps next time. I still did them last time. Just on this day, I had to search my feelings like a Jedi and realize the best way for me to get the kind of intensity and the kind of repetitions and the kind of, oh my gosh, I've did it, success is to do it like this. And you need to do that as well. So do not think that you have to follow your plan verbatim all of the time. You have your entire life to go and lift weights and your entire life to get things done. It's like anything, right? It's like your job. It's like reality. Every now and then you have to shift things around a little bit. So don't be afraid to do it. Don't let the internet tell you otherwise. If you are someone that can be super strict every single day, then I'm very impressed with you. That sounded sarcastic. I genuinely meant it. But if you just need to do a little bit of a wibbly wobbly here and there, that is okay, right? There are no rules other then you've got to be really safe and don't hurt yourself. Number 6 is you are allowed to go machine crazy. That doesn't mean you turn into a robot. I'm not saying that you walk around the fitness Palace of Love going, because you're definitely going to get kicked out. But again, saw this article the other day. If you are not lifting free weights, you're doing the gym wrong, you're going to be sent home and you're never going to see any gains. It's absolute nonsense. It's absolute lies. Do you think your body actually knows? There are benefits to doing free weights, such as stabilize the muscles. We don't need to get into that here. If you just did isolation work on machine, do you think your body goes, wait a minute, that feels like a machine to me. I am not going to trigger protein and muscle synthesis. Of course it's not going to do that. That's not a thing. If it was a thing, you would be some kind of an alien. So once again, I would always try and push you in the direction of free weights. Not exclusively, but I think you should be doing some of it. If you really don't like doing any of that, you don't like deadlifts, don't like squats, you don't like bench press, but you enjoy the machines, for the love of everything, just do machine workouts. And you will meet some negative Nancy that tries to talk you out of this. But if all of a sudden you go to the freeway area, you're like, I don't want to be here, then what is the flubbing point? One day we're all going to be dead. Why on earth would you want to take some time and put yourself in a situation you're not enjoying when there's another area right over here, that's how I've decided all gyms are laid out, where you're actually going to have a better time, and because you are feeling better about it, you will obviously have a better workout. There are the 3 B's. So I'm sick and tired of hearing this. Are you going to be able to build a better base if you are doing the compound movements? Of course you are, but there is no hard and fast rule. If you have a very specific goal you're trying to achieve, then yes, you may need to ignore this rule. But I'm just talking to people that want to, casually is not the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. Casually want to go to the gym. I'm sick and tired of it. Sick and tired of everybody making out that weightlifting has to be this eternal struggle and this eternal misery. It does not. If it's entertaining, then you are way ahead of the game. Bet you making more progress than somebody else is crying into their weight stack. Number 5 is just do 100 reps. That's right. Once again, not talking about it every single gym session. But if you feel like you've hit some kind of a plateau, or you're just desperate to get that DOMS feeling, delayed onset muscle soreness, pick any exercise you want. It could be a bench press, it could be a bicep curl, it could be a tricep extension. Obviously, you're going to need to shift the weight around. If you usually bench press 100 kilograms and you're going to do 100 reps, don't start with 100 kilograms. If you can smash 8 reps for 12, it's going to be very different when you get to 100. But I tell you, it doesn't really matter especially when you first start doing it, what kind of weight you put on the bar or whatever you may be using. You'll get to around about 32 reps and you'll start to hate your life. But if you're like me and you enjoy the competitive nature on it, not only is it genuinely quite a fun thing to do, to see how crazy your muscles will get as they start screaming at you, stop, for the love of everything, stop. But it's a nice way to kind of, I don't want to say all of a sudden it's going to get you out of a slump, but I think mentally it will. And what I know a lot of people enjoy doing, and I think I could get behind this, is they do it once a week, but for a different exercise. So let's say they do it every Wednesday. I mean, it wouldn't work like this, but we'll just go with it. So every Wednesday, the last set on biceps will be 100 biceps kills. Then they get to chest, the last will be 100 bench press. They do back, it'll be 100 lat pull downs, anything like that. And they find it's just a nice challenge, for one, as we've already mentioned, but also a good way just to keep the brain active, not to fall too much into doing the same old, which is boring. And I promise you, if you do it right and you can keep your form for as long as you possibly can, obviously towards the end, you're not going to be keeping your form at all. It will whip your ass. It will whip your ass. Your muscles get so tight as the blood flows into them. It's crazy, but you will have a mega pump. And that's when you can go get the right lights. You can take your picture, you can muck around with your filters, you can post on Instagram, and everybody will think you're bigger than you actually are. Number 4 is to isolate every single muscle group. Now, this comes from a conversation that I did have with somebody over social media the other day, who said to me, Simon, my favorite way to train, or at least the way that I would prefer to train, is on Monday, I would like to do biceps. On Tuesday, I would like to do triceps. On Wednesday, I would like to do hamstrings. On Thursday, I would like to do quads. Friday, I would like to do chest. Saturday, I would like to do shoulders. And Sunday, I would like to do back. And I was like, well, I have never heard that before. That's very, very interesting. Now, I would always implore you that you make sure you get a rest day in there, probably 2, because, when you rest and take some time off, that's when you'll recover and your muscles actually grow. Again, I'm not going to get into that here. But there's probably people that would tell you shouldn't do that. So I'm going to pop up and tell you that you should. Now, once more, if you're doing this for 52 weeks out of the year, I think it's going to become a detriment. But if you want to take a couple of weeks, or maybe even 3, and kind of train like that and to see how it goes, I think these are the kind of crazy things that we should be doing. Because again, what else in your life, other than breathing and eating and maybe mingling with people, are you setting out to do for the entirety of your life? There aren't that many things, right? It's just the case. So if the gym is something that you already know you're going to be doing until your last days, yeah, I think you should bring in crazy ideas like this every now and then, just to see that how you react to it, to see that if you like it. Like, I could imagine if you were just training hamstring for an entire session, let's say you do, an hour and 20 on hamstrings, and you did that once a week for 3 weeks, you probably would see some progress. Because let's face it, the average gym goer don't care about hamstrings. The average gym goer doesn't care about rear delts. The average gym goer cares about biceps, even though your triceps are a bigger muscle group in your arm, and chest and abs. That's it. They don't care about anything else. So I just like these kind of ideas. I like they're a little bit weird. I like that they're a little bit creative. And I really do think it's good for your focus. Because if you were doing it today all of a sudden, it's a little bit out of the norm and it's a little bit strange and you don't know how you're going to react to it, it just serves as a dangling carrot. So maybe it's not necessarily isolating every single muscle group. But once again, I think it ties into this idea. Don't think you have to be doing, it's Wednesday and I must do the same thing all the time. No, you don't. That doesn't mean change it all the time, because then you're never going to be able to see progress. Because how do you know what's working if you don't give it time to actually take effect? But especially on Instagram, I find it's a lot of, well, that's a stupid thing to do. That's a dumb thing to do. How is it stupid or dumb? Once again, as long as you're not putting your body in danger and you're not putting your health in danger and you're being safe, what's dumb about it? Who cares? It's your workout. It doesn't affect anybody else. Even if it's absolutely sucked and it was a waste of your time, well, it wasn't a waste of your time, because you'll do it, you realize it doesn't work, you can cross that off the list and never do it again. I don't know about you, that sounds like the greatest use of my time ever. Number 3 is a very similar idea. Just do one big set. So once again, this probably pertains to those individuals that just need to do a little bit something different. But let's say that it's leg day, right? We'll go with the classic meme, the classic leg day. And we'll tie it into my experience the other day when I didn't want to do leg press for no reason whatsoever, other than being a bit of a wuss that day, which is fine. You're allowed to be a wuss. That's why we have wuss emotion, to be massively wussy. Something else that I could have done is I would always implore that you warm up, because again, we don't want to get any injuries here. What I could have done is I could have loaded up the plate and just gone, right, I'm just going to do one big set, and I'm going to give that set every single thing that I've got. I'm not going to worry about rep. I'm going to worry about form to a little bit, but not as much as I would do otherwise. And if I get to sort of rep number 13, 14, and I'm pushing it, but I feel like there's some more in the tank, well, I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to do partial reps. I'm going to push and push. Maybe I do a drop down. Maybe I do, well, not a superset, because we want to contain it within the exercise. But yeah, maybe I just drop. So if I had like 250 on there, I'm going to go down 20 and then 20 and then 20 and 20 until there's nothing else and my legs are screaming at me that they want to slap me right in the face. And then you can move on to something else. I think that's another good way to get through those things, because you didn't just ignore leg press on the day that you didn't want to do it. What you did is you kind of moved all your intensity and you put it into one little block. So rather than I'm going to do my set 1, my set 2, my set 3, maybe my set 4, you just focus on one big one, then you're done, you moved on, and you're still going to get some benefit from it. I know I keep repeating myself, but I want to make sure the message gets home. Of course, you can't do that every single time unless you are just the most intense individual ever. And if so, well, hey, come round and I'll give you some work to do. Don't know what that meant. I think all these things are a great tool and a great asset to people going to the gym. But yeah, once again, you go online and people try and steer you away from it. And that's when I think the gym gets boring. I think you can be creative within the fitness palace of love. So I'm telling you to do it. If you don't want to do it, have a guess what? Don't do it. Number 2 is an absolutely stupid one, but again, it's something I use. Pretend you're a wrestler. Now, if anybody else told you to do that, yeah, that sounds really dumb. But honestly, there are some tunes, some music that come on my headphones, and it's just entrance music. So what I like to do is, it's a true story, I like to line up when the beat drops or when it explodes, which would be when the wrestler came through the curtain, and I make sure that's when I'm kind of getting towards the end of my set, when I know that fatigue is going to be setting in, because then you get a rush of adrenaline, and all of a sudden, you will smash out those last few reps. I don't know why this happens. I do it walking around the gym sometimes by accident, by happenstance. A wrestler's theme comes on or just a metal song that sounds like entrance music. And again, when you get to the bit where it explodes, all of a sudden my walk changes. And if anybody else is looking at me, they're going, that is the most arrogant man. Why is he walking like a moron? Little do they know that in my head, I'm at WrestleMania. And number 1 is my favorite dumb way to train. Don't train. Because I'm always going to tell you this, and once again, let's just go back to my story, which has sort of been the bookmark throughout this video. I was happy to go to the gym that day and get it done because I wanted to, and it did make me feel better. But if you really don't want to go, and you know deep down in your tum-tum and deep down in your tootsie toe that it's actually going to be detrimental to go because you're not going to push it and you're not going to be intense and essentially going to be there just to say that you went, which is a waste of time, you're allowed to not go. That doesn't mean you can say this every single day. You can't go, I go to the gym, but I haven't been to 6 weeks. I didn't feel like it. No, that's just you being lazy and not going, which you can also choose to do. There's no negative connotations to that. But once more, this idea that you have to push through regardless, when once again you're going to be doing this for 50, 60, 70 years, is absolute nonsense. That's not how brains work. That's not how humans work. So give yourself the day off. Don't feel guilty about it. Even if you stay at home and eat a pizza, that's all right as well. Just make sure you get back on your horse tomorrow. Usually when you feel that way, it's your body telling you for a reason that you need to rest. So rest, take the day off. It's not going to make a blind bit of difference. Just one day. It's not even one day. It's an afternoon. Nobody goes to the gym for 24 hours. If you do, that's a totally different video that I'm absolutely going to have to do. So I'm always going to drill this into your head because I would love fitness to get to a point where it doesn't have to be like being in the army. It doesn't have to be so regimented or structured all the time. And you can have a little bit of freedom and leeway with it because, myself included, if you've ever put yourself in a position where you feel like you can't break, it sucks and it ruins your quality of life and it's just not realistic. And you have to go through all this nonsense, all this jabroni stuff until you actually go, man, I shouldn't have done that. And look, things worked out the same way. So please, for the love of everything, if you really don't want to go, choose not to go and go tomorrow instead. I'd also love it if you would leave a comment below and let me know about your experience with some of these. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the bell, ding ding, so that you get a notification. Maybe YouTube can't make up its mind. In a second, or maybe right now, there'll be a video on the screen. Please click it. You don't have to watch it. Just click it. That's all YouTube cares about. If you're looking for supplements that can help you with your training, it's patreon.com. No, it's not. It's gorillamind.com/Simon. You just go to Simon to get 10% off. Again, I back these. I think they're awesome and I use them. Patreon.com/Simon316. Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. Merchandise is pro wrestling tees and Samson Athletics. I'm on Cameo for personalized videos, messages. Just search for my name. And I do believe that is everything. Again, you can go into the description below and just smash some links with your finger, should you so wish. And again, if you want to take any of this into your training, please do. If you want to ignore me because I'm a bored a-hole, please do. All of this is fine. You train for you. You're only in competition with yourself. Back yourself, believe in yourself, and eventually you will get to where you want to be. Now, you won't realize this because that's what the gym does, but don't worry about it. Keep going. Goodbye.